Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is vlog number 2, and in this vlog series we basically talk about the intangibles that we all need to have in our toolbox in order to enjoy nature that much more. Today we're going to be talking about a really big one, and that one is resilience. Let's break it down. Let's learn how to build it in our life. Let's get started. Resilience is an important one to talk about. And first, I think we need to understand a little bit better what resilience really means. I'm not talking about just surviving. I'm not just talking about enduring. I'm not just talking about, well, holding on tight. Those things are important, but resilience is a little bit different. Resilience talks about going through something ridiculously tough and moving through it, not just to the point where you're holding on, but you're actually coming out better because of that. And that is really an important skill to build, because when you're out in the wilderness, things can go wrong. You don't want to simply endure, you want to come out better afterward. Think of a cold night camping or maybe a really long hike. You don't want to simply endure it and then get home and go, man, I never want to do that again, right? Instead, you want to go through this tough situation and come out better, and in fact, want to do it again. And that is why resilience is so incredibly important to build in our life. Now, why is it that not everyone is resilient? Why is it that not everyone has that already built in them? And I think it's honestly because we have lived a life of comfort. Here in our westernized world, we are too used to having everything we want all of the time at the moment that we want it. We are not used to going through discomfort. I mean, think about the life that you live and the home that you sleep in. More than likely, it has air conditioning and robotic assistants that help you go through life. And there's, of course, nothing wrong with these things. However, these things create comfort in our life that deny us of the opportunity to endure and come out on top even better, thus building resilience. I mean, think about those people that motivate us. Think about those people that make us go, wow, you're an incredible human being. Many of them have built resilience. Maybe they grew up in a rough neighborhood in a tough situation, and they didn't just endure and came out the other side. They were resilient, meaning that they went through this tough situation and came out successful business owners, or maybe motivational speakers, or perhaps a force of change for good on this planet. That is resilience, and that is honestly what we need of more in this world. Let me tell you a personal story of when this became actually very relevant in my own life. So as you can tell from looking at me, I am not exactly what you would call an athlete. I'm a person that generally enjoys being outside and generally enjoys being active, but I've never been the athletic type. I always struggle with my weight. I've always enjoyed food too much, to be honest. So when it came to an opportunity to do a triathlon, well, let's just say that wasn't exactly up my alley. And let's just say that that was a big, scary challenge for me. Yet, I had the good guidance of a close friend of mine, and he told me, stick it out with me, I'll train you, I'll get you ready, and you'll be able to finish your first triathlon. So after talking with him and hearing about his past experience, I decided, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do a triathlon. So we did it. We started getting ready. We would train often. I would train on my own. I got to the point in which I would ride my bike to work one way and then run home. And then the following morning, I would run to work. May I add, this was about a 5-mile trip. I would run to work that morning, and then in the afternoon, ride my bike back home. And this was just kind of how I was able to sneak some training into my everyday life. And then on the weekends, me and my friend, we would go out to bodies of water or some indoor pools, and we would do the swimming part of the training as well. While we're doing all of this, I'm realizing where my weaknesses are and where my strengths are. Now, some of you that might be close friends know that I used to do a lot of competitive swimming when I was younger. So I felt very confident when it came to swimming. And I am a very good swimmer. But there's a big difference between swimming, 50 yards and swimming 500 yards, right? There's a very big difference in that. So we had to build some endurance into me that I honestly did not have. So already I was noticing that the run wasn't that big of a deal. I was running for a while now, so I knew I was comfortable with it. I could ride a bike for miles. I was very comfortable with that. But as more and more training got added on, I realized that really the challenge was going to be in the swimming part. You know, the part I thought I had down for sure. So we continued to train. This was grueling at times. I generally had to endure through this tough situation and push through. But I wanted to do all of this so that when I got to the day of the triathlon, I would just absolutely crush it. So my alarm goes off. I wake up. My bike's already packed up. My bag is ready to go. I've gotten some good food in me beforehand. I eat a banana, something light. I drink my coffee because that's what I always do in the morning. I hop in my car and I drive to meet my friend that is going to be doing the triathlon besides me. We get ready. There is a nervous energy in the air. Everybody there is excited to get this going. I get my number tattooed on me, and I slip into my really tight bodysuit for the triathlon and I grab the rest of my stuff and we start to walk towards the start line, which the first part of the race was going to be swimming. If you guys have never done a triathlon before or you're not familiar with it, at least for the one I did, we swam first, rode our bike afterwards, and then finished it off with a foot race, so running. So we're there. We're about to get to the water. They're explaining to us the situation, how we're gonna go, etc. I'm honestly not listening because I am too nervous to listen. And then it's my time to get into the water. I jump in. Freezing water takes my breath away. I start paddling and I realize I'm out of breath already. I'm out of breath already, and I just started. How is this happening? I started to panic. Honestly, I started drinking water from the river that we were swimming in. I had done all this preparation, and all of a sudden, when it came time to it, I was choking. How? How does that happen? And more so, after all that training, I would dare say that that has happened to all of us. I mean, think about it. That presentation you prepared for, that book that you've been trying to write for years, maybe that big project that you tried to put out and then at the last minute everything started to go wrong. What do you do then? What do you do after you have prepared and trained so hard and you still seem to be failing? I mean, goodness gracious, this was the first part of the race. This was not a time to quit. This was the very beginning, let alone quitting by drowning. That's even worse. What was I gonna do? I had to dig deep, and I had to find resilience in me. I couldn't just endure it. I couldn't just hold on tight, this too shall pass. I had to move past it and become better because of it. After all, I still had a bike to ride and a race to run. So this was no time for me to simply endure. I had to be resilient. So I flipped over on my back and caught my breath. Slowed down, took a breath, let my heart be calm, and then I rolled over again and began paddling one more time. All I kept telling myself is to get just one hand in front of another, one hand in front of another. And I kept looking up to make sure I was going in the right direction. Before I knew it, I was finally approaching the time to get out of the water. Finally, this torture was over. That was the longest chunk of water I've ever swam in my life. At least that's how it felt. I get to the other side. I begin to step out. A kind gentleman stretches his hand out for me so that I can take it and he can help me out of the water. I take it, he pulls me out, and as soon as he pulls me out, I get vertigo. I'm talking about the world starts spinning, my legs go weak, I kind of flop over. That man holds me, he's like, are you okay? So I'm not really myself, not really thinking straight, but again, resilience is telling me to push forward. So I just say, I'm fine, I'm good. He kind of helps me back to my feet. I get my legs under me and I start walking. And all I can think to myself is just keep moving. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. I knew that so long as I didn't stop, I was going to be able to finish. Just keep moving. I knew I still had a bike race to do. I knew I still had a foot race to do. And this was still the very beginning of the stage. I had to keep moving. I think that oftentimes in our lives, when things go wrong, really that's all that we need to do. If you need to build resilience in something, you just have to have the resolve within yourself to say, I just have to keep moving. Regardless of what it is, maybe your plans failed, maybe your marriage is in shambles. If you want to be resilient, if you want to not just endure, but come out better, you just have to keep moving. You can't just bottle up and choose to grit it out. You have to keep moving. After all, the only way out of these woods, it's on the other side. So that's what I did. I put one foot after another, focused on my shoelaces. For some reason that helped. And just kept moving. Got to my bicycle, pushed it off, hopped on it, began to ride. Once I began to ride the bike, honestly, I felt a lot better. I was in my element, I was in my comfort zone, so I felt really good and I felt really strong. Finished off the bike race, no problem. Went down a really steep hill that almost killed me, but besides that, I was good. And then it got time to run the foot race. I drop off my bike, I'm feeling strong, I'm putting some nutrition in me so that I can continue to burn carbs in the right way. And I'm hitting the stride, right? I'm doing everything that I had trained. I was doing everything I was supposed to do. And then another wall. Are you kidding me? Another one. I just endured the swimming part. I just went through the bike. This is the last bit. Why is there another wall? It felt like somebody had poured concrete onto my calves. And I had prepared for this. I had trained for this. I had been warned about this by many of my triathlete friends. So I had prepared for it, yet somehow this hit me harder than ever before in my training. Another wall. Another thing went wrong. And isn't that truth about life? Think about it. Something goes wrong, you finally fix it, you got it out of the way, you are kind of wiping the sweat off your forehead. Man, we finally did it, we've moved past it, let's keep moving forward. And then, boom, something else hits you. Something else goes wrong. What then? Remember, just keep moving. I pounded down this liquid that a friend of mine gave me to help with cramps, and that helped a little bit. And I just focused on my shoelaces again, and I just focused again on putting one foot in front of the other. And I feel like perhaps many of you need to hear that today. If you want to build resilience, you just need to keep moving forward. Long story short, I kept putting one foot in front of another. I kept pushing forward because I knew that I wanted to finish this. More than anything, I needed to finish this. And I finally crossed the finish line. Crossed the finish line with my arms up high, proud of myself that I just did what to me seemed like an impossible task and finished this triathlon. I was incredibly proud of myself. And on that day, I built resilience. Now, whenever there's tough times in my life, I can look back in that instance and say, I did that, surely I can do this. And to be honest, that's the great thing about building resilience, is that once you build a little bit, it becomes a catalyst to build so much more of it in your life. You can keep looking back at those instances that made you resilient, and those themselves will build you up to build resilience even more. So, how can you personally build resilience in your life? Number one, seek out discomfort. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Honestly, our lives are way too comfortable. Seek out opportunities to do something that is scary, something that you've never done before. Go on a backpacking trip. Try a triathlon if you're not a triathlete. Do something that is out of your comfort zone, and it's going to have to push you not just to endure, but to succeed. Those things will build you out. And lastly, surround yourself with people that are resilient themselves. Listen to me, I could not have done that triathlon had it not been for my friend that had my back the whole time, that had trained me, that had prepared me for the tough things that I was about to endure. If you want to be resilient, you don't need somebody to just come alongside of you and go, man, that sucks. You need somebody to come alongside of you and say, man, that sucks, but let's get it. Let's push together. How can I help you? Let's keep moving forward. That's what you need. So seek out discomfort. Purposely find something that is going to push you not just to endure, but to be resilient, and surround yourself with people that are resilient already so that you may start to build that quality in your life. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this vlog. I'm actually really enjoyed doing this, and I thank you so much for your great response for vlog number 1. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's up in that little tag that I'm about to pop up there. So make sure that you see it, guys. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Check out other videos, drop us a like. Don't forget to subscribe. That is a huge support for this channel. Thank you guys so much for your support. Hit subscribe, hit the like, and we will see you next time. As always, don't forget to get out more.